I first met Cecil just about the time that he arrived in San Francisco in 1963. Those were tumultuous days. Cecil immediately decided, however things had been done at Glide, they couldn't continue to be done the same way, and it was clear from the moment he came, he was going to make change.
The word that I use to describe him the most is love. That he is a truly loving human being. He lets them know that they are lovable, that they are precious, that everyone is accepted in the eyes of God.
He is simply a rock star in San Francisco, a larger-than-life personality who has walked the walk for decades, transforming a Tenderloin neighborhood church where he has served for 48 years into one of the most innovative, people-oriented, full-service religious institutions in America. He is Reverend Cecil Williams.
We don't worship here. We celebrate here. We affirm life here. I came to Glide really in 1963. I wanted an integrated church, but what I found out is that people really wanted something also more than what they were getting. We average about 300 new members every year.
The JCRC Courageous Leadership Award defines Cecil Williams' role in our community, a voice of conscience, of justice, of racial harmony. He has inspired San Franciscans of all backgrounds to pay more attention to the poorest among us, exhorting us to treat them with dignity and to become activists with our hands and hearts to provide the services they so desperately need.
What we need to know is to repair the world, we must provide justice. We must make sure that justice is a reality, that it is not just something that we hope will happen. No, it can happen, it will happen, and it must happen.
The vision of Glide programs here, which we started 45 years ago, was that we provide programs for people's basic needs. So we started with meals, and that is one of our hallmark programs. We serve now, today, 3,000 meals a day. This past year, we anticipate serving 1.1 million meals a year this year. We also have a family, youth, and children's program at the Janice Mirikitani Center, which I'm very proud of, and it started out with 16 teenagers and youth who were running the streets of the Tenderloin about 40 years ago, and now we're serving about 500 children, youth, and families. We also have a medical clinic, which is a comprehensive, holistic nurse practitioner model, which provides over 3,000 client contacts a year.
And I have watched this man year after year and decade after decade. I watched him marry a beautiful, wonderful woman who's become a major mainstay for his church. I've watched him take his church from a small number of parishioners into one of the largest churches I know. I've watched his care and concern about empowering people who feel they have no power, working with addicts, working with people who are homeless, giving people a sense of worth and well-being and the ability to participate fully in a society. And to a great extent, that's been the mission of both Cecil and Jan, and the mission of the great church. And so I am just so proud to be a friend.
Well, he's not Jewish, but I think he's driven by tikkun olam. Tikkun olam, to repair the world. Everything he's done has been to repair the world.
It's the act that's more important than the word. So therefore, we act like we are for people and with people and by people. The Jewish community, let me say this emphatically, has always, when it comes to civil rights, the Jewish community has always been there. I remember in 1963 with Martin King, when I was in Washington, D.C., the Jewish community played a prominent role. The Jewish community played a prominent role when we were in Selma, Alabama, and Cummings, Georgia. Just time after time after time, the Jewish community. JCRC, of course, has meant a lot to us and will continue to do so. And that's why I'm so very proud and delighted to have the opportunity to be a part of this and a recipient of this award.
Cecil went to Israel on a trip hosted by the JCRC, And I didn't really realize the impact that that had on him until a couple of years later when he called me and he asked me to come and meet some visiting ambassadors from Central American countries. And he was telling those ambassadors that he had established a school at Glide for the children of the Vietnam people. And the school was based on the Ulpan system in Israel. And he turned to me and he said, I went to visit in Ulpan when I was in Israel, and I think this is a good way to get these kids to become Americans and learn English. And I found that very moving.
Some people even think that he can walk on water, but I just want the world to know that he still leaves his socks on the floor, and I still have to pick them up for him.
I want to thank the Jewish Community Relations Council for honoring a great San Franciscan this evening. Before I talk about your honoree, let me just say a word about the council. How well I remember the days, quite a while ago, when as mayor we worked together. How I remember your clearinghouse, the work that people did to bring disparate groups together to solve problems before they escalated into violence. And I am just so grateful that you are here, and I hope this is a very successful evening for you.
I want to congratulate Cecil on all he's done, but I also want to congratulate Cecil on having Janice at his side. They are truly partners in everything that they do, and I wish them long life and many more achievements.
There's this saying that it's particularly meaningful when you get it from home. And I feel like perhaps Cecil may be feeling like this is a way of saying home is honoring you.
Just congratulations, both of you. And thank you, Jewish Community Relations Council, for having the good taste of honoring this wonderful man.